And here we are coming to you live from our top secret broadcasting bunker here at Area 52. This is Pastor Mike and I'm online and I am live and I have a King James Bible and I am not ashamed of it because it is the gospel of peace. And I'm like Paul in Romans chapter 1, I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God unto salvation. And that's sort of what's on my mind today. Of course, I've got several other things on my mind too. I don't know if I'll be able to talk about them today, but I have the gospel on my mind today. I tweeted earlier sort of what we were going to talk about today, and we're going to get to that here in just a little bit. Let me read some pieces of paper here. By the way, if you want to write in during the broadcast today, PastorMikeOnline@gmail.com. You see the email address splashed across the bottom of the screen here. And let me just say this as I'm flipping through my papers here. I'm starting to get happy now. I really am. Summer is pretty much over for central Missouri. It is one of those days that, believe it or not, I like it. I love fall, I love winter, and I love spring. Summer is the endurance that I have to go through from spring to fall. It's sort of like outdoors activities with my wife. My wife, bless her heart, we're buddies. We run around every Friday and just have lots of fun and this and that and the other. I love to go camping. Deer season comes, I'm in the woods, okay? No posh hotel for Michael Hoggard. We're camping out in a tent. I love it. But to my wife, outdoors is the annoying place between two indoors. Okay? You got to get from this indoor to this indoor. You have to go outdoors to get there. And that's how it is to her. And that's how summer is to me. It's rainy today. It is cool. It's cloudy. I'm digging it. I am absolutely loving it. So anyway, and I'm in a good mood, in spite of the St. Louis Cardinals that apparently forgot totally about how to play baseball last night. My wife kept telling me, if you're going to be that way, get out of the living room. Okay, dear. I'll be fine. I'm over it. I love sports. I love baseball. St. Louis is a baseball town. But I learned back in the late 90s with the St. Louis Rams, Kurt Warner throwing that ball like nobody had ever done before. And they won the Super Bowl. And I'm just beside myself that night. The next morning, I woke up and I wasn't at Disney World. I didn't go to Disney World after that. My life was exactly the same after the Rams won the Super Bowl as it was the year before. Exactly the same. So I kind of grew up a little bit. I love sports. I like to watch a good game. The Apostle Paul used sporting analogies in his writing. Wrestling, boxing, running races, things like that. But it's just sport is all it is. So we just move on. Soon, and I've been warning you about this, I have seen all of the movies with this in it, and it never turns out good. Soon, drones may be able to make lethal decisions on their own. Scientists, engineers, and policymakers are all figuring out ways drones can be used better and more smartly, more precise and less damaging to civilians, with longer range and better staying power. One method under development is by increasing autonomy on the drone itself. I've seen this movie. I've seen it. I know how it turns out in the end. Eventually, drones may have the technical ability to make even lethal decisions autonomously. To respond to a programmed set of inputs, select a target, and fire their weapons without a human reviewing or checking the result. I saw the end. I went all the way to the end of the movie, saw how it all turned out. It doesn't turn out good for the human beings. The Matrix didn't turn out good for the humans. The Terminator, not good for the human beings. What was that? Eagle Eye with Shia LaBeouf. Pardon my French. Not good for the humans. Not good for, well, let's see, Congress getting blown up. Yeah, that would be unconstitutional. Anyway, though autonomy might address some of the current downsides of how drones are used, they introduce new downsides policymakers are only just learning to grapple with. The basic conceit behind a LAR is that it can outperform and outthink a human operator. If a drone system is sophisticated enough, it could be less emotional, more selective, and able to provide force in a way. If you want drones to be less emotional, quit letting women fly them. That's how you make them less emotional. Able to provide force in a way that achieves a tactical objective with the least harm, said Purdue University professor Samuel Lyles. A lethal autonomous robot can aim better, target better, select better, and in general be a better asset with the linked intelligence packages it can run. Though the pace for drone strikes has slowed down, only 21 have struck Pakistan in 2013 versus 122 in 2010. According to the New American Foundation, unmanned vehicles remain a staple of the American counterinsurgency toolkit, but drones have built-in vulnerabilities that military planners still have not yet grappled with. Last year, for an example, an aerospace engineer told the House Homeland Security Committee that with some inexpensive equipment, he could hack into a drone and hijack it to perform some rogue purpose. I've seen that movie. I've seen all of those movies, and it never, ever turns out good for the human beings. I have in my queue to watch Pacific Rim. Some people told me I needed to watch it, so I'm going to watch it. I have it in the queue, and I haven't had a chance to look upon it yet. Too many baseball and football games going on for right now. But I'll get there. Forget life on Mars. We could soon design and print alien cells on Earth, claim scientists. I've seen this movie, too. We could soon be able to design cells or entire organisms using computer software and 3D printers, a scientist has claimed. The cells could be used to create biofuels, combat global warming, which does not exist. Global warming. If you think global warming exists, then you've had to change your mind since the 70s. Because in the 70s, it was global cooling that was going to destroy the planet. It's going to it was going to be like hell freezing over. It's what it was going to do. Oh my goodness, the Earth the polar ice caps are going to shoot down the whole side of North America. That's what they were telling everybody. Now then it was, oh no, these things are melting. Oh my goodness. We need billions and billions and billions of dollars in research and prevention. And Al Gore just happens to own a bunch of companies that do research and invention. And he gets billions and billions. Do you know how much money Al Gore is worth? In the hundreds of millions of dollars. How did he get that money? From going around preaching that the earth was warming up. We need money invested in companies that will combat this, and he owned the companies. How slick that is. Global, now it's climate change. So 2 weeks ago in the state of Missouri, in the St. Louis area, we were like 90 degrees. Now we're in the 60s. The climate has changed. Develop new healthcare and medicines that will even recreate alien life forms on Earth if alien DNA is ever found. Did you hear that? I read this. I've read this story before. Where have I read this from? Daniel chapter 2. That's where I've read this from. I want you to consider do this. The beta version of the King James Pure Bible Search software is available online at purebiblesearch.com. I just downloaded the beta today, started looking at it. I haven't looked at everything. What I see already I like. But if you will download that software, install it on your Mac or Windows or Linux machine, and type in the word alien or aliens. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. Type in that word and search for it in your King James Bible. And just say, what does it say here about aliens? What does it say? All right? And think about now where the fourth kingdom is going to come from. Think about where it's going to come from. Not from here, not from Washington, D.C., not from Rome, not from Addis Ababa. It's coming from where Superman came from, Krypton, wherever. Print alien life forms DNA. If you've seen this movie, you know how it turns out too. Okay, very, very interesting story. That is where we're headed. My wife is overjoyed with this story. This is from the San Francisco Chronicle. A Santa Clara County woman who spanked her 12-year-old daughter in the rear with a wooden spoon should not have been labeled a child abuser, said a state appeals court Tuesday, ruling that social workers and judges must consider a parent's right to impose reasonable discipline on a child. Reasonable discipline on a child. I am against unreasonable discipline. I'm against beatings, child abuse beatings. I am against that. And I'm being dead serious. There is a way that the Bible proscribes for you to raise children. There's a way to do it. It says train up a child. You train the child just like, and people are going to come unglued, just like you would train an animal. You train a child. You teach them to stay away from things. You teach them not to do things. You give them instruction. And you give them rewards and punishments. That's what you do. And the Bible talks about using a rod for that. A rod. A wooden stick of some kind. That's what the Bible... And God never intended for you to use it across their face. That's abuse. But God created this amazing piece of real estate on a human being called, well, we all have different names for it, don't we? Okay? Your gluteus maximus, your backside, your buns. Lots and lots of fatty tissue in there. Some more than others. Lots and lots and lots of, watch this now, fatty tissue and nerve endings. Fatty tissue and nerve endings, because when you take